Just 4 days after the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, Germany declared war on the United States. Operation Pastorius, named after Francis Pastorius, who led the first German settlement in North America, was the German plan to land agents in the United States to collect intelligence and carry out attacks against industrial targets. This task fell to the Abwehr, Germany's intelligence agency, which was headed by Admiral Wilhelm Canaris. Direct control of the American operations was given to an Army lieutenant, William Capa. Capa was a longtime member of the Nazi Party who knew the United States very well, having lived in Chicago and New York in the 1930s before returning to serve the Reich. To find men suitable for his enterprise, Lieutenant Capa scoured the records of the Ausland Institute, which had financed the return of thousands of German expatriates from America. Capa selected 12 whom he thought were energetic, capable, and loyal to the German cause. All agents had lived in the United States for years. 2 of them, Ernst Berger and Herbert Haupt, were U.S. citizens. They were trained for their mission in Germany at an estate called Quentz Lake outside Berlin. Their training was rigorous, and they practiced their fake identities, rehearsing every detail. 4 men were quickly dropped from the program, while the remaining 8 were divided into 2 teams under the leadership of George John Dosch and Edward Curling. Both team leaders were also given a handkerchief that carried the addresses of mail drops and names of contacts in the U.S. written in invisible ink. In late June, the German saboteurs, issued with explosives and American money, were ferried by U-boats to Long Island and Florida's coast. The saboteurs had enough explosives for 2 years of mayhem. Arriving first, Dosch's team landed on the night of June 12th. Coming ashore on a beach near Amagansett, New York, they wore German uniforms to avoid being shot as spies if captured during the landing. Reaching the beach, Dosch's men began burying supplies and changing their clothes. Unfortunately for them, a patrolling Coast Guardsman, Seaman John Cullen, rushed towards the group and called out for them to stop. Advancing to meet him, Dosch told Cullen that his men were stranded fishermen from Southampton. When Dosch refused an offer to spend the night at the nearby Coast Guard station, Cullen became suspicious. This was reinforced when one of Dosch's men shouted something in German. Realizing that his cover was blown, Dosch grabbed Cullen's arm, managing to threaten and bribe him at the same time. Knowing that he was outnumbered, Cullen took the money and fled back to the station. Alerting his commanding officer, Cullen, along with others, raced back to the beach. However, by the time the search patrol returned to the spot, the saboteurs had reached a railroad station and had taken a train to New York City. After retrieving the German supplies from the beach, the Coast Guard called the FBI, which launched a massive manhunt for the saboteurs. Unfortunately, Dosch's men had already reached New York City and easily evaded the FBI's efforts to locate them. Reaching New York, Dosch informed one of his comrades, Ernest Peter Berger, that he disliked the Nazis and intended to betray the mission to the FBI. Before doing so, he wanted Berger's support and backing. Berger agreed to Dosch's plan. On July 15th, Dosch called the FBI in New York, but they failed to take his claims seriously, so he decided to travel to FBI headquarters in Washington, D.C., while Berger would remain in New York to oversee the rest of the group. On June 17, 1942, a group under Edward Curling's command landed on Ponte Vedra Beach near Jacksonville, Florida. Arriving in Washington, Dosch was initially dismissed by several officers as a crackpot. He was finally taken seriously when he dumped on an agent's desk $84,000 intended to be used for the mission. During the next several days, he was thoroughly interrogated, while FBI in New York moved to capture the rest of his team. Daesh cooperated with the authorities and also gave the FBI a list of German contacts in the United States, which had been written on a handkerchief issued to him by the Abwehr. But he was unable to provide much information regarding the whereabouts of Curling's team, other than stating they were due to meet in Cincinnati on July 4th. Utilizing this information, the FBI was able to track down Curling's men and took them into custody. With the plot foiled, Daesh expected to receive a pardon, but instead was treated the same as the others. As a result, he asked to be jailed with them so they would not know who betrayed the mission. Fearful that a civilian court would be too lenient, President Franklin D. Roosevelt ordered a special military tribunal consisting of 7 generals to try the saboteurs. All 8 were found guilty and sentenced to death for their assistance in foiling the plot. Daesh's sentence was reduced to 30 years, and Berger's sentence reduced to life in prison. The remaining 6 were electrocuted at the district jail in Washington on August 8, 1942. In 1948, President Harry Truman showed both men clemency and had them deported to the American zone of occupied Germany.